Hey guys, welcome to Made Simple. My name is Amin, and in today's tutorial, we're going to be building a fitness app for iOS. All you're going to need is Xcode, so let's get started. When you first open Xcode, you're going to be greeted with a window similar to the one that I have on my screen. So here we're given some options to get started with a playground, create an Xcode project, or clone an existing project. In this tutorial, we are going to be clicking on Create a new Xcode project. So once we click on that, we are now given some options or templates for our new project. We can create a single view app, a tabbed app, a game, an augmented reality app, and even some apps for watchOS, tvOS, macOS, and cross-platform. For this tutorial, we can go ahead and click on single view app and click next. Once we've done that, now we are given some options for our new project. The product name is the name of the project that we're currently working on or that we're going to get started with. So for this tutorial, we can type in fitness app. The team name, you can leave that as is. The organization name, it should be probably your first name and your last name. The organization identifier, so that is com dot, usually either your name, your organization name, no spaces, or it could be your company name, like mine is. So the language that we're going to be coding in is Swift, and the user interface that we're going to be using is SwiftUI. We can leave all of these unchecked. Next. Now we can just choose where we want to save our project. So I'm going to save mine where it is right now, and I'm going to uncheck Create Git Repository on my Mac. We don't need that right now. Create. All right. So now once we've created our project, now we are welcomed with a set of code that we can get started with. Before we begin coding, let's do a quick overview of what Xcode looks like right now. So in the leftmost window pane, we can see our project navigator. So here is the project name, the project folder, and some different files where we will be adding code to later on. An assets folder where we will store all of our images and other media files and some other files in here. In this pane here, we can see all of our code so far. So here there's a view and some code for text hello world. Now in this pane, we can see a preview of what we built so far. So we can go ahead and click on resume. All right, so here you can see a preview of an iPhone and the program that we've written so far. So what's unique is that if we change anything in this code right here, let's say hello, my name, hello Amin, you can see it change in this preview as well. And in this window pane, there are some that usually are properties for the different pieces of code that we've written, or the different components that we're going to be building. But for now, we can go ahead and close this because we won't need this window pane for most of the time. So you can go ahead and click on this button right here, and this will hide that pane. All right, so let's get started with the code. All right, so with that, we can go ahead and get started building our fitness app. So I have a screenshot of what we are going to be building. So here we have a home screen where home workouts is a large title. We have a card with full body workout for beginners, a little bit of shadow, a weekly plan where in the app we can actually scroll through these days. So here we have a card for Monday, chest, Tuesday, back, and so on and so forth. So now that we know what we're building, we can go ahead and get started. So before we can actually start coding, we need to get all of the images for the app. So I already have all those images and links brought up, which I will be putting in the description below. So here we can go ahead and download a low resolution of this photo. I'm going to download this into my downloads. Just save it there. Replace. Download this photo as well. So the reason I have to replace it is because I already have all these photos in my downloads. Place that one too. So with those photos that we have, we can go ahead and open up our Finder. Let's actually open up our assets first and open up our Finder. It's right here. And in here, we can go ahead and copy all those photos that we just downloaded into our project. So command, and go ahead and just drag them into, this pane here. Okay, so now we can go back to the file where all of our code is by clicking on the content view. And in this content view, I'm going to go ahead and click resume here. In this content view, we can start writing some code to start displaying some of the things that we said that we were going to build. So I'm just going to look back at what the app looks like right now, or the app that we're going to be building. So we have this title, a card again, and we have a weekly plan and some cards below. So we can go ahead and get started by building out this card here. So we have our text full body workout for beginners. So let's go ahead and start with building those two things first. So I'm going to embed this text here by pressing Command click. I'm going to embed this in something called a VStack. So a VStack is a vertical stack. So you can think of it as having two objects stacked upon each other. So if I put in another text here, which I'm going to be doing, text, hello world. Now we should be seeing in our preview here that we have two text objects sitting on top of each other, hello world on top, one above the other. So this, if I change this to what we intend it to be, full body workout, and this one to be, I think it's for beginners. We can see these two objects sitting on top of each other, full body workout for beginners. Now let's start by changing up a few of the modifiers for this text object. So here we can say dot or period and say fonts dot large title. And we'll give it a font weight of semi-bold. So now we've changed the text to appear a bit bolder and larger. So large title, so you can see that here we have a font property here, and we're naming this large, and we're giving it a property of large title, so it's a bit larger than the other, and we're giving it a little bit stronger of a font weight, making it semi-bold, so that's why it appears a bit bolder than the other piece of text. On the next line, we're going to add a modifier to make it, we're going to add dot font weight, and we're going to make it dot regular. So if you can see that when I press the period or the dot button, that we have an autocomplete or are given some options here. So we can have different font weights: black, bold, heavy, light, medium, or regular. So all these are different font weights that we can apply to this text. So I'm going to make this just regular. Okay, so now we have our first set of pieces of code here. So we have a VStack, a vertical stack with two objects inside of it. So these two objects are stacked upon each other, one above the other. So a vertical stack is when two objects are stacked upon each other. Okay, now I want to add some properties to this vertical stack here. So you can see if I click on vertical stack, also in our preview, we have a box surrounding what our vertical stack is right now. So this is our vertical stack. Let's go ahead and add some padding to this vertical stack. And we can give it a frame and some background color. Let's start with the background color first. Background, dot background. And we'll give it a different color. So I'm going to type in color. Okay. Now going back to color right here, I'm going to type in lit, L-I-T. Hopefully the autocomplete comes up. And click on color literal. So here we can choose the background color of our vertical stack. So if I change this to, let's make this, let's click on other. And we'll give it a black or a lead color, and we'll make it a little bit, lower down the opacity. Okay. So that should give us our, color that we're going to apply to this vertical stack. Now I'm going to add some padding. Dot padding to give it some padding on the object. So now we made that vertical stack larger. And I'm going to give it a frame, so make this vertical stack appear larger as well. Dot frame. We'll start with this one here. And I'm going to type in width. So that's a different property here, width. I'm going to give it a width of 400. So now we've made our vertical stack much larger. Maybe we'll make it actually 380. Oops, that's way too large. 380, okay. So this indentation here is a little bit off, so I'm going to highlight all of these and press Control-I to correct the indentation. So we have a vertical stack, two text objects inside of it, and we've given some properties to our vertical stack. Okay. Now let's go ahead and add our image to this vertical stack as well. Or let's go ahead and add our background image. So this vertical stack here is just a stack where objects are laid upon each other vertically. Now, I want to add an image to be the background of this vertical stack. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to click on this vertical stack until it's highlighted. I'm going to press Command click. And I'm going to embed it in a VStack, another vertical stack. Okay, so I've taken this vertical stack and embedded it in another vertical stack. And in this vertical stack, I'm going to change it to be a Zstack. So Zstack is when objects are laid on above each other. So you can think of something. So you can think of the Zstack as when something goes back into the background, or a lower layer. So each layer is added on top of each other. So the Zstack, I'm going to add an image. So I'm going to add some spaces here. So this is our vertical stack where objects are stacked vertically. Vertically. And the Zstack here is where objects are stacked above each other. So I'm going to add an image here. Image. Some quotes. Okay, now let's figure out what image that we want to put there. So I forgot the name of that image. So the name of the image or the text we're going to put there is this fitness workout one right here. Fitness workout. And actually, let's go ahead and highlight all these images. All right, let's go ahead and select all of these images. And I'm going to click on this pane here, the properties pane. And I'm going to say, let's go ahead and make it render as original image. So that's something that we might need. So I'm going to run. So again, I highlighted all these images, clicked on this window pane where all the properties are located, and I said render as original image. Now going back to the code. Let's go and resume this. And I forgot what it was called. It's called fitness workout. So type in fitness workout the way that it appears here. I'm gonna Command C this. Command C. Content.swift, and I'm gonna paste that right here. Fitness workout. And let's go ahead and resume that. All right. So now let's add some properties for this image so that it appears in the card itself. I'm going to make it resizable so that we can change the size of this image. So I'm going to add the property resizable. I'm going to give it an aspect ratio of .fill. So it's going to fill whatever size that we give it. As you can see, it's already happening. And I'm going to give it a frame or a size that we dictate of heights 300. Okay, that looks more like it. So again, we have a Z-stack where things are stacked above each other. We have an image that sits below the vertical stack where all the objects are stacked vertically, our two text objects. We've given the V-stack some padding and a frame and some background color. Now, I'm going to add some properties to the Z-stack as well. So Z-stack is, so if I click on Z-stack, you can see where our Z-stack is, highlighted in blue, or with this blue border. So I'm going to give some properties to the Z-stack just like we did to the V-stack. So again, dot, give it a frame with width 400, height 300. Okay. So now we can see the size of our V-stack has changed a little bit. I'm going to give it a corner radius. So I'm going to add some a little bit of some rounded corners to this object, to this Z-stack. I'm going to give it a corner radius of 20. I'm going to type in clipped here. So clipped actually means that, so when you add a corner radius, we are making sure that it's rounded. But clipped means that anything inside of this V-stack, so all of this stuff right here, the image and the other V-stack is going to be, it's going to clip off whatever does not show up in this Z-stack. So this image and the rest in the V-stack, as you can see, it's only within the frame of whatever we've typed in so far that we've dictated for this Z-stack or this component. Okay, clipped. And then we're going to give it a shadow with radius 8 and some padding to the top. Dot, top, 20. Okay, so we just moved the object a little bit farther down. Again, so we can go ahead and highlight these and correct the indentation by pressing Control-I. Okay. All right, so we're getting closer to the card that we saw in the app that we're building. So here the text is white for both the full body workout and for beginners. Actually, let me change this width to be 380 as well. Okay, so now let me go ahead and change the color of this text. So we're going to say dot foreground color, and I'm going to say dot white. So there are some preset colors that we've given that are given to us. So color and dot white. So foreground color dot white, and we change the text color to be white now. Let's do that for the other line of text too. Foreground color dot white. So now we've made that as white as well. Okay, so we can see that this in here so far we have our text is sitting at the top, it's sitting in the middle of this vertical stack or this Z stack right here. But what we want to do is we want to move it down below the image of this guy here. So let's go ahead and look back at what we're building. So right here we have our image, and then we have the text sitting at the bottom of the card that we've coded so far. So I'm going to go ahead and move that down by going to our VStack, pressing enter, and we're going to add a spacer so that we can move all of the objects downwards. So as soon as you do that, we've moved everything downwards. See, so we've added a spacer to the VStack, which is what is here, and this causes the component inside of this VStack to take up all the space in the component around it, which is the Zstack. Okay, so that's our card that's what we've coded so far with our card. So we have an image, a card with some shadow, just a little bit of shadow, you can see right here, some text, full body workout for beginners, and we've given it some size, a width of 380 for both the VStack and the Zstack. We've given a height of 300, and we've given a corner radius to make these rounded corners. Again, we clipped the object so that nothing inside of it overflows into the outside of the frame that we've created. So this concludes part 1 of this series. We built something kind of basic, just a card, but it's something to get you guys started. So if you want to see how we finish this app and put this app on the App Store so you guys can sell it, then you should subscribe to this channel below so that we can keep you guys updated. Alright, thanks.